There can be deadly accidents. It can affect the handling. Somebody is going to disagree with us because you'll read both sides, you know, the argument.
You may have the same coach from different years and they weigh different.
What do you mean weight? How do I know how much I can carry? There's some RVers out there that are making some really stupid mistakes.
And this is not to be critical. We were there at one point. Sometimes we do make stupid mistakes
we still do.
also. So we're trying to bring you a video from things that we've learned that will make your RVing maybe a little bit easier. Before we move any further, I want to thank the official sponsor of this video. Is going to be RVmattress.com by Brooklyn Bedding. What is RVmattress.com by Brooklyn Bedding? Well, if you own an RV, you know that the mattress from the factory is pretty terrible. We were no different on our motorhome, but about a year and a half ago, we updated our mattress with a mattress from RVmattress.com by Brooklyn Bedding.
Yes, and they also have mattresses for home as well. Jason has one in his room. He loves it. They have all different products. They have cooling pillows and weighted blankets and sheets and everything. What's great is they have 120-night sleep trial, so you get to see. You can take a couple weeks and see if it's for you. If not, you can return it. They also have a 10-year warranty. And what's pretty awesome is that their Dream Foam Essential Mattress won Good Housekeeping's 2023 Family Travel Award. So that's pretty exciting.
Yeah, that's the mattress we actually have. What's pretty awesome about them is that they're based out of Arizona, which is really cool. They have all different types of mattresses, whether it's a memory foam, like you just said, coils, or a hybrid of foam and coils. They have something to match your RV. They have low prices, but if you use the discount code
Endless,
you're going to get 25% off the price.
That's a good chunk.
Yeah, it's quarter off. Who doesn't want that?
Very good.
Somebody went to school, right? So if you're tired of getting up or not even sleeping well because of the crappy mattress you have in RV, go check them out. We'll put their link down below.
So we're getting ready to head out on a trip, and this is definitely, number one, is a problem I think that a lot of people don't even realize they're doing.
Especially when you're new.
Yes, and we did it. We did it a lot, but now we don't. And that is overloading your RV. RVs are meant to carry a certain amount of weight and not be over, or you're gonna have some serious problems. And we emptied out a lot. We used to carry a lot of hashtag stuff, a lot.
Yeah, I carry the minimum now, even with water. Kind of always used to go out with full. Now, depending on how far we're going, like, you know, if we're going over a 3 or 4 day trip or we're not gonna have hookups, I'll put full, because water is heavy. If it's just like a 1 or 2 day, half is fine. We can survive on that. But some other stuff, you know, the grills, we don't carry that anymore. The 10, 20 lawn chairs, the sign, all that stuff is gone. We don't carry any of that stuff anymore.
We still bring chairs.
It depends on the trip.
And if Jason isn't coming with us, that chair stays home, right?
Correct,
yes.
yeah.
And we don't try to not bring as many clothes. And again, people, clothes are light, but everything adds up. So if you're new, you may be wondering, well, what do you mean weight? How do I know how much I can carry? Why don't you explain that?
Yeah, so you have gross vehicle weight rating. What's really important is the carrying capacity. For us, in the inside of one of our, those cabinets?
The cabinet,
yes.
Okay. You're younger than me.
Inside one of the cabinet doors, there's actually a sticker, and it tells the specific weight of this coach. Now remember, you may have the same coach from different years and they weigh different. So it's specific for your coach. It'll tell you how much you can carry. Now, how do you know the weight of your coach? There's a couple different ways. The cheap and easiest way is gonna be a CAT scale. We've had this weighed. So you want to weigh it how you travel. You don't want to like cheat and be good, empty everything and make yourself feel good.
Put your water in, put your hashtag stuff, everything.
Weigh it, and then you'll know how much you're at. The better one is a 4-corner weigh system, where they actually put scales on each corner. It's gonna help you balance everything. That's not as common. A lot of shows and rallies will have the 4-corner, and NRVC offers that, if there's a local place. So either way, CAT scale, 4-corner, just weigh your motorhome, make sure that it's within the weight limits. Another reason, often overlooked, why it is important to know the weight of your RV or your motorhome is because of number 2.
Which is your tire pressure. This is critical. There can be deadly accidents, right? People will have blowouts if your tire pressure isn't accurate. It can affect the handling of your RV. It can affect the mileage. We've talked about that quite a lot. So there's certain things that you can do. One of them, and we have probably talked about this a million times, is using a TPMS. And we use the Tire Minder A1AS. This is not a sponsored ad, but we've been using this for years and we love it. It's been very reliable.
Yeah, we had the I-10 and the A1AS. Very simple, guys. A couple things you want to remember. You want to check your tire pressure, cold tire pressure. What I mean cold is not cold weather. Let me talk about weather first.
Right.
Cold weather versus hot weather, we get extreme changes. It affects the tire pressure. When it's hotter, the pressure goes up. When it's cooler, the pressure goes down. So like for us, if we're traveling in the fall, the pressure is going to be different than if we're traveling in July.
Right.
So we have to actually drop the pressure down when we get into hotter weather because the pressure...
It's going to go higher.
Correct.
Right.
So when I mean cold, cold is the weather you're in. So if we're in July, we want to measure the pressure when we haven't been running for like 4 or 5 hours. That's what I mean by cold. So we don't want to be driving down the highway 70 miles an hour for 5 hours and check the pressure. It's going to be inaccurate.
It's going to be higher, right.
You want it like the next morning or before you leave. So the next thing is going to be leveling your RV. This is a really important thing. We've seen this at RV parks where RVs are not leveled. There's like 2 tires in the air. It's really appropriate.
And think about it. You talk about mistakes. We made that. I remember
100%.
years ago when we were first starting, we had Nellie's front tires off the ground.
Because we hit the auto level.
Right. And somebody came and said, you know, that's not really good. And it was helpful.
Yeah,
you know,
of
we
course.
learned from each other. So that's why we're doing this for you. But also, many of you have certain appliances on your RV and things just won't work as well if your RV is not level.
And also,
such as a refrigerator, things like that.
They could potentially, not work. Also, the RV is designed, especially as slides, to be level when you open up the slides. We level manually. We don't use the auto level. I think it's useless. It's never really worked well. It does more than it needs to. A couple of ways we do it. We do it with the liquid spring. We have that option. We can go up and down 3 inches. We also use blocks, usually under the tires. So a lot of times, all the reason we're putting down the levelers is just for stability. So like these right here, these are ox blocks. This gives us about 2 inches. We have 4 of these. So we can get another 4 inches, either putting it under the tires, putting it under the levelers. Each situation determines how we're going to do it, right? So depending on how the site is, we might put them under the levelers or under the tires or a combination of both.
Right. And we've had certain campgrounds that have been a nightmare, and we've been able to get pretty close.
We can probably get about 14 inches off.
Yeah,
you know, so if it's more than 14 inches, then it's probably going to be on a video of us telling you not to go there.
If you're enjoying the video so far, we would love for you to subscribe, hit the subscribe and the notification bell, and you'll know when we go live and release new videos. Also, we have a private Facebook group we would love you to join. It's called Endless RVing, RVers Coming Together, and we have a free monthly newsletter. The link to sign up for that is below. Number 4 is a big one, and this is not maintaining your RV. This, I must say, we pretty much did from the beginning because Mr. OCD here was on top of it.
This will cost you not only heartache, but it will cost you a ton of money in the future if you're not on top of your RV. You have to maintain these things. Roof seals are the biggest one. I was just talking to MJ this week. I'm going to go up there to some roof seals. They don't have cracks. I don't even let them get to that point. No. If they start looking like dirty and it's a couple of years, I scrape them up. I redo them. A tube of Dicor is $10. It's worth it. That's nothing. You know what I mean? Compared to having to get a new roof and interior redone.
Yeah. Another thing is oil changes, and you were very good about staying on top of that.
That's another thing I got to do.
Just that, the generator oil, all those different things, and you're very, very good with that.
So let's talk about some things that are often overlooked. If you want to take the camera, like, so for example, like these seals right here, you know, I go over these every year. Sometimes you'll get a little crack in them. That's one of the benefits of washing your own motorhome, is that you're up front, you're physical with it. So I'll go in, I check every single seal. I mean, everything on here. And today I had to touch up like 3 or 4 places. Nothing there was a hole in, but you could see it's starting to deteriorate. I cut it out like a cancer, put new silicone in. Another thing right here, if you see these are all plastic rubber parts. These will wear down over time. The sun damages them, so I wipe them down. I use some like that rubber protector cleaner, wipe it down, get everything clean. It's going to, you know, stay longer. It's not going to get weathered. That rubber being hit by the sun is going to start breaking down. It starts cracking, getting dry.
And I have to say, Izzy and I were talking one day about, because I said, I love downtime. We don't get a lot of it. Something I love to do, I've mentioned this before, is to do puzzles. I love puzzles. And I said to Izzy, I'm like, when you have downtime, what are you going to fill it with? And he said, I'm just going to do things outside. Like, you love doing things with your hands. Maybe not as much this, but you are very good with that. And that helps.
This would be much better if it was inside. I will say something. If you own an RV, if you own a motorhome, it is a lot of work. There is no getting around it. If you're saying to yourself, I never maintained a motorhome, that is a ticking time bomb. Something will happen, because it's a lot of work for sure.
It is. So you either have to be handy and do it yourself, or have enough money to pay somebody else to do it. The next one is really, really important, and it is doing your safety checks. So this includes a lot of different things, talking about the chassis. So make sure that you know that your brakes are working, that your steering wheel is working, that your horn and your lights are working. That's really important.
Batteries in your smoke detectors. Make sure you have your fire extinguishers, they're up to date. Make sure you have multiple fire extinguishers.
We've done many videos on that. We carry 5.
Make sure your CO is up to date, your propane is not leaking, you know, all these things. Some of them you should do before every trip, some of them you should do every couple of months, some of them once a season. You know, like chassis once a season, no big deal. But really important, not only could it leave you stranded somewhere, but it could be of safety as far as you maybe getting hurt.
Number 6 is very important. I keep saying very important. They're all really critical, is planning your route. And what we mean by that is that every RV is a different size, okay? We have a large RV, so we know that if we're going somewhere, we have to make sure that we're using an RV-specific GPS that's not gonna take us down a certain highway that has tunnels or bridges that are not high enough, that are not wide enough. It can be really a pickle you get yourself into.
Yeah, if you have a Class B, it's not really a big deal.
Right.
But RV-specific GPSs, they can be on apps, Rand McNally, what we have on ours, Garmin is probably the most popular. That's really important. Now, talking about planning your trips, this is something that we learned, you know, rookie mistakes, but we learned over time. When you're planning, especially a longer trip, give yourself time, right? Give yourself time for things to go wrong because they will go wrong at some point. We just talked about in another video, we had a trip down to Alabama on the way back. We got stuck on the highway, right? We just went down to Virginia a couple of weeks ago. We had planned on getting to the place in Virginia. It did not happen because weather, rain, winds, we had to call it a night, so we cut it out like 3 hours early, but we had enough time. We had enough cushion in there. So it's really, really important. It's different than having a car. You just have to plan it out a little better.
We've made a lot of mistakes RVing, and these 6 are very common ones that especially newbies, but even veterans sometimes forget and make.
Sometimes you overlook them. In the comments below, let us know what are some mistakes that you have made RVing. What are some things that you do all the time as a result of those mistakes? Put them in the comments, not only for us, but for other RVers that watch this channel. People actually do go back and forth in the comments and they learn things. If you like videos like this, to the left of us, we'll put our RV newbies playlist. We'll put our RV DIYs playlist. And for myself and MJ, it's a journey of a lifetime, and we'll see you on the road.